La 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 la. La 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 la. Hey everybody, check me out. I have showed up for my TikTok live. Um, Even though I'm still eating a bit of brekkie, as they would say, across the pond. Here, let me just get a piece of toast here, Jay. Hold on. Oh, nom, nom, nom. So good morning. How are we all doing here? Okay, people are starting to file in. That's cool. Give me an opportunity to put a little tiger in my tank. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I rarely show up on a Sunday morning, mainly because I do things on Saturday nights. I'm also talking with my mouth full, which is not polite. So, hey, German Maid 95, nice to see you. So yeah, I am here for the next hour. First of all, I have to share with you. Not to show off, but you know what? Oh, just a piece of toast and some butter. I'll have something better afterwards. And of course, a cup of tea. Had to get my cuppa. Um, here's what I want to offer from my life is that I kept a promise I made to myself and I made to you all, right? Jennifer, good morning. I made a promise that I would show up at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sunday morning after a fun Saturday night. And I'm telling you, there's something about it. If I had not said this and I said, oh, maybe I'll show up, maybe I'll do this, I could have let myself off the hook. Um, and but I didn't. I said, you know what? I've got this thing going on. I'm going to make it happen. I will take the little baby steps so that I show up and do this thing. And I did it. And that's what kind of decluttering is like, is saying to yourself, kind of promising yourself, I want to get to this destination. And then holding yourself lovingly accountable for it to say, what are the little things I need to do to get there? Right? So this morning I had to set my alarm. I decided I would feel a hell of a lot better if I took a shower, right? I even got out and did a little bit of walk, and made myself a cup of tea, and here I am. So enough about me. Let's talk about you. What is keeping you stuck? How about this? Especially since I rarely do these things on the weekends, I am curious, as I often am. Did you start or were you working on a decluttering project yesterday? Yesterday being Saturday, the time that a lot of folks say, I'm going to do it. I can't do it during the week. I got no time. But then Saturday comes and you do it. I'm curious how that went, if you did it. I want to celebrate your wins. That's one of the things we don't do enough with ourselves. We will cheer on our teams if you're like that, sporty thing. But there you go. German Maid emptied 4 drawers. 4 drawers, right? That's awesome. Congratulations. Emptying 4 drawers, maybe seeing what was in them. I like to think of decluttering kind of as a what do I want to call it? It's a like a treasure hunt. A treasure hunt. Decluttering is like a treasure hunt when you know that pretty much some of the stuff is going to be something that you like or liked at one point. You know what I mean? Because you're the one, your brain, your thoughts, your feelings made you decide to keep that thing, right? There you go. Irish Pink. Melissa did one other trip to the thrift store, doing more today than sorting to toss, donate, or sell. Congratulations, folks. This is what it takes. So I am here to not just, and I'm saying just because but I don't want to minimize the fact that whenever you make any progress in your decluttering, celebrate it. I saw a thing on Instagram today from a life coach, coach actually that is on my feed, and she was talking about massive action. And here's what my take on that. Massive action, of course, if you can take massive action, what I call scary shortcuts, right? Massive action sounds like, actually, it sounds like a 90s band or something. But what I want to say is massive action is also made up of a whole bunch of little actions repeated over and over again. So don't think it needs to be like, I need to burn down the house and do this type of stuff. What you need to do, if you want to get decluttered, is chip away at it as much as you like, a little bit at a time, as often as you can. Don't wait for the time that you can take massive action and then do nothing, right? I've talked to one-on-one clients, and including myself, saying you can get so much done in 5 minutes, Oh my gosh, Julie, my sister and I are decluttering our mom's house to sell. Any suggestions of how to start? My sister and I were kind of doing this the same time last year. It was not my mother's primary home, but we were helping do that. And I would the one thing I would ask is she around or not? It's different. If your mom is passed, it's going to be a lot easier in a way, sadly. There you go. There you go. I love it. Thank you, Melissa. Pick a pace to start. It is the biggest decision, you know. Here's what I would offer. This is what I think about all the time is before you even start, get your mind visualizing the house clean and what it's going to mean when you do this. What is selling this house going to? Maybe it's going to be bittersweet, but start to envision how good it's going to feel when you're done. That sense of accomplishment, the sense of being done, kind of develop a destination that you're going to be psyched to show up and kind of drive towards. Okay. She is around, but at assisted living. Okay. Yeah, I would just actually, start a little bit at a time. I don't know if she's going to be in the participation process or not, but you and your sister get together and say, this is why we're doing it. We are doing this to make mom's life easier, maybe to get some extra money for her assisted living. We are here to do this so we don't have to do this later. We are doing this as a gift to ourselves because then we can control what goes into our homes from her home, if anything. And also, it's going to feel really good knowing that we helped mom do this thing. Okay. There you go. Okay. Hello, howdy, hola. I have a severely disabled child, CPAP, oxygen, nebulizer, syringes, formula, drowning in supplies. Okay. Drowning is not a good feeling. Here, I'm throwing you a lifeline. It sounds like a lot of those things are not necessarily clutter because clutter is usually stuff that you don't want. Those are things you need, but they are probably stored in a cluttered manner. Right? They clutter up. Clutter can be visual clutter. Even with stuff you want, visual clutter can be detrimental and you may not be able to easily find your things. I would say get curious about what could be a better way for you to store those items that make sense to you and especially to, not only just in this situation, but create a system that works for you and your brain and your home so that your goal is to be able to easily, even if these things are stored, make it very easy to access these things when you need them. You know where they are close by to where you use them, in that when you get these items in, you have a place to store them so they don't hang out. There we go. Okay, German made 95, bought a cabinet just for their supplies. Sometimes you do need to buy, or you need to maybe even repurpose, you know what I mean? Like I repurpose, a lot of my storage is like repurposed stuff. Sometimes certain situations require specific storage things, so you know that stuff is there. Okay, there you go. Yeah, plastic drawers and a trash can next to it. Thank you everybody for showing up and giving some advice when I am chatting here. Speaking of chatting, let me just do a quick thing because I'm not sure if everybody here, so I love it when I see familiar names coming up, and I also love it when I see new people. So I just wanted to introduce myself, which I kind of forgot about at the beginning because I was eating my toast. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is Destination Decluttered. Destination Decluttered is all about treating your life like a road trip instead of a commute. Okay, here's the thing. Celebrate 268. Hard to celebrate when there's so much left to do. That's a thought. That's an overwhelm. That's a feeling that's not making you feel so good. And notice how you said, don't feel deserving. You do deserve to celebrate. Examine that thought. Okay. I will get back to that, but I just want to do my little public service announcement type of thing. It'll take like 2 seconds. Destination Decluttered here on TikTok. I show up live quite often. I will show up this coming week, but I haven't figured out when that's going to be done yet. I'm going to figure out a time that works in my schedule. I will post that and pin it on the top of my TikTok page. If you haven't liked my TikTok page and you want to get help with decluttering, please, drop me a follow. I think that Irish guy who talks about weight loss says. Don't worry, I won't call anybody the C word. And the other thing is I have a website, destinationdecluttered.com. All right. A couple of things you can do there. You can sign up for my mailing list. I do not spam you. I just send you good stuff. You will immediately get a road trip based, is that upside down? No, a road trip based habit tracker that I use. That helps me stick to the habits I know that are going to make a difference in my life. You will also get an invitation to a members only free group Zoom call that I do once a month just for the people on my email mailing list. Destinationdecluttered.com/join. Sign up there. do that. I also do one-on-one coaching. Now, here's the funny thing. I should probably look here because I actually yesterday got quite a few consultation requests. So here's the crazy thing. I was going to say, go to my website and sign up for a consultation if you want coaching to start that process. I literally, for this next week, have one coaching slot left. So if anybody wants to meet up with me on Tuesday the 27th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, get yourself onto my website, snag that spot. Other than that, it's going to have to be until the next week. And then I'm actually going to be doing some traveling, so I'm going to be less available. But I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, here's what I want to offer that Seller 268 said. Okay, hard to celebrate when there's so much left to do. Okay, here's how I approach decluttering. And it's not just decluttering your home. It's kind of like you can use this to declutter your life because you're kind of decluttering your head, okay? You have a thought. You have something in your head, a thought in your head that makes you feel a feeling in your heart. Notice the H's. Head, heart. Thought, feeling, head, heart, right? That makes you do something with your hand, right? So if you think there's so much to do, I don't deserve to celebrate, your hand is going to be like, I'm not going to celebrate. If you say, you know what? Sure, there's stuff to do, but I have done some of it. I am already partway on my way, so I'm going to freaking celebrate the hell out of the accomplishments I've made. Yay. Doesn't that make your heart feel better to say, I know there's a lot of miles to go, but I am on the way. I'm on my way from misery to happiness today, right? Celebrate that. So you do something with your hand. You go, yay, look at me. You give yourself a Liz Lemon high five, and you say, you know what? It feels good to make progress. I am not there yet, but I am on my way. And when I celebrate, notice how when you celebrate the fact that you're on your way, even though your brain wants to be like, you haven't even made it there, blah, 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 blah. Those are your backseat drivers that don't want you to start. When you celebrate it, you're more likely to show up the next day to get in the car. Can you imagine if you're on a road trip? This is what I always do. I run this through. I desaturate the emotions out of things by saying, what if you were on a road trip, right? A road trip to someplace you know you want to get to. I am always using Pennsylvania to Palm Springs because it's where I am and where I love to be. It's also a cross-country road trip, right? It takes a wicked time to get there. There is no physical way that I could drive there in a single day on a single tank of gas in one fell swoop. It's not going to happen. So I need to, by necessity, break it up into little chunks. And if I show up every day for that multi-day road trip saying, not there yet, still not there, nope, still really far away from there, how does that feel? Oh my God, who the heck wants to show up? I'll never get there. We're doomed, right? No, you say, oh my gosh, check it out. I got to Pittsburgh today. You know what? The next day, look at we blew through Ohio. We are in Indiana. And then, you know what? We're going to hang out. We're going to enjoy this. We're going to say, look at, we are on our way. We are closer than we have ever been before. Okay? Examine that feeling of not feeling deserving and question it. Get curious. Why don't you feel like that you deserve to celebrate? And what it is, when you ask yourself that, you're going to have a thought in your head. And then you can consciously change that thought, rewrite it, transcribe it, translate it into a more helpful thought using the ingredients of the original thought. That's how I life coach in the decluttering world, because it is so much more important. Because when you think better, you feel better, and then you do better. If you think this is never going to work, you get discouraged, you feel discouragement, you have discouraged, you don't have the courage to move forward. You're probably not going to move stuff. You're probably not going to get up and do something. You're going to sit there and say, meh. Yeah, my New England accent is strong. I was chatting with my sister on the phone this morning, so I think that's how it came out. I also crack up because I like to put it on for effect because it reminds me of where I was from. Even though I was in college radio, so I can put my ahs on. I can put my ahs on when I need to. There we go. See, there you go. Jen K says, I went from 3 storage units down to 2. I totally celebrated it. I was so excited. That's what you do. You celebrate your wins and you'll show up to do more. When you beat yourself up and say it's not good enough, you're not going to show up. Or you're going to feel crappy when you're doing it. Okay? Tanya says, hey, Beth, I cleaned out 3 junk drawers in my kitchen last night. So proud of myself. Rock on with your bad self, people. This is how we do it. This is how we do it when I coach. I like to make coaching fun because as I keep on finding myself saying, and maybe it's because I have a touch of the ADHD, if it isn't fun, I don't want to show up. If it's boring, if it's torturous, if it's mundane, if it's like, oh my God, what is that stupid word you use, that catchphrase, whatever, I'm not going to show up. But if you make it fun, if it's a road trip instead of a commute, then you've got me. And I have found, there we go. I am trying to go through my 20 years of left. My ex left me with everything. You know what? He left you, or they left you with the opportunity to get rid of all that stuff, shed it, and then float around like a butterfly. Okay, there we go. Yep, it was so emotionally draining. Notice that phrase we have, emotionally draining. That's sentimental stuff. That's when you are sorting through things that make you feel feelings. It will drain your emotions temporarily. You will get your emotions back, but so motivated to get down by the end of the summer. Jen K, rock on. I love that you have a specific goal. You have a specific destination of getting down to one storage unit and a specific time frame you've given yourself by the end of the summer. That is so important. That is so important, everybody. Okay. Jennifer Palmer has ADD, long COVID brain, very poor executive functioning. She can't make myself get started. Jen, how can you make it fun? You know, how can you make it fun for yourself? How can you create some dopamine for yourself? Put on some music, envision. Here's the thing. I could set a timer. How about this? I will. Oh, my timer's on my phone. Okay. Even just a minute, the power of a minute. This is going to be goofy, but fun. This is how I roll. I'm going to be silent for a moment. You are too. What I would suggest you do is just sit there for a minute. I will pre-do this and say, what do you want your home to look and feel like? What is your destination? Why are you doing this? And I'm going to be quiet for a minute. I'm going to wait for my timer, my little thing here, to go to 9:18. And as soon as that hits, I'm going to be quiet. And I'm going to sit here thinking about how I want my home and my life to feel. I want you to do that too. It's only going to be for literally a minute. Be quiet and think about it. And then conjure up that kind of effervescent, sparkly, bubbly feeling of, oh my God, wouldn't it be so awesome? Wouldn't it be so awesome if my life was like this for a minute? And see how powerful it is. That's one of the ways you can generate the energy to get started when you get so excited about when you're doing it. Notice, this is so funny. I said I'm going to start when my clock says 9:18. I've been talking a wicked long time and it still hasn't changed because a minute can be a really long time. So when you tell yourself you don't have time, even if you spend just a minute envisioning what the future could look like, 9:17, okay, and not just envisioning it, but feeling it. Okay, 9:18, what you want your home and life to look and feel like. All right. That was one whole minute. I wonder what came up for you. Think about it. Think about it. That was just a minute. When your unhelpful thoughts in your brain say, I don't have the time to declutter, I don't have the time to do what I want to do, we just took time. We took a minute. Maybe that minute changed your life. A minute can change your life. Okay. I was envisioning my house actually looks pretty good. There's a few things that we're working on. No big deal, but I love how my home looks. I love how my home feels and I love how it functions. Okay. And so I was like, what do I want my life to look and feel like? Because I used the same process that got me decluttered to get my life to go where it is. Right. I want you to do the same. It's a thought you have in your head that makes you feel a certain way in your heart. When you feel a certain way in your heart, you do a certain thing with your hand. All right. There you go. Jennifer Palmer just said, I pictured my house completely clean and it looked like someone's house I'd love to visit. Yeah. How about you visit your own home and you say, I love coming home because I love how clean it is. What does it smell like? Whatever, you know? Yeah. I did really good yesterday with dishes and laundry. Woke up today and went, wow, says Irish Pink, right? There we go. My mom has an issues with clutter and I have to deal with it. I'm the same way. My mother is cluttered. That's where I learned to be cluttered, but I learned to be uncluttered. User 844085, what I will offer to you is start with yourself. What are your thoughts and feelings about clutter? Break your own clutter habits, get good at it, and then you can deal with your mom with a lot more compassion and gratitude and love and all that good stuff than judging her. I'm only saying that for myself. You may not judge your mother like I judge my mother or judged my mother as much, okay? There you go. Jen K says, I got a great picture of what I want my house to be and no storage unit. You know? All right? Okay. So just think, this is the seed I want to offer to you so you can plant it in the garden of your head and water it. It doesn't take a lot of time to change your mind. And this is where the magic happens, people. This is where you see the possibilities, you see the efforts, you see the results of your efforts. And when you fall in love with that result, that destination, when you fall in love with that destination, that's why I kind of tried to make this little pin on a map thing look like a heart. I don't know if it does, but I tried. That's where it happens, because when you feel like you do it, then you're going to go do some stuff, right? There you go. There you go. Then I have every pay stub for my entire life. My garage will look so much better driving in. There you go. Yeah. I never knew that you could actually put a car in a garage. I really honestly that never occurred to me. And I was like, oh, are cars supposed to fit in garages? I always thought they were just filled with crap. You know? Yeah, you just got to get there. You know what? You just got to start to drive towards it today and then tomorrow and then the next day. Because the great thing is that it's about changing the way you think and the way you act. When you realize when you think makes you feel a certain way and then you act a certain way, it's not just about decluttering, it's about your life. And when you start to think differently, you feel differently. And when you feel different, you do different. And when you do different, you go to different places. If you think the same and feel the same and do the same, you're just kind of in a loop. You're stuck. Your wheels are spinning. You're not going anywhere. You're not making progress. As soon as you start to change things, and continually, the daily repetition of showing up differently is going to change your daily habits, because you're going to discover the habits you have that got you cluttered, and also the ones you have right now that keep you cluttered. You know, the things that you put down that you don't put away, the stuff that you buy that you don't have a home for, the stuff that you have just too many of and you don't go whittling through it, right? So just notice that. All right, there was something here. There we go. Somebody said, okay, Memphis says every room is overwhelming. So the funny thing is about when I do these TikTok lives, and I also do them on Facebook, Destination Decluttered, Instagram, Destination Decluttered, and YouTube, Destination Decluttered, not as often. Maybe once a week I go to the other kind of properties, but I try to show up where everybody who is struggling with clutter is hopefully on one of those. I know not everybody's on TikTok. When I do these, the only way you and I can communicate is when you choose words to type in a thought. That is a thought you have, Memphis. Every room is overwhelming. Now, overwhelm always comes up on every single one of these calls. Overwhelm and I don't know how to get started are like the greatest hits of these things. And I don't mind talking about it all of the time because that is so true. What I want to suggest to you is this process. Think of overwhelm. The opposite of over in my mind is down. Okay? Instead of having it hanging over you, you pull it down, you look down at it, you chunk it down, you write it down. You write down this stuff and you say, every room is overwhelming. Also, everybody, catch yourself in the words you use. And when you find yourself using that kind of dramatic, superlative language, every room is overwhelming. That's also overwhelming language. That's language that compounds the overwhelm feeling, right? How about this thought? Some rooms are better than others. Some girls' mothers are bigger than other girls' mothers. Am I right? So just think, every room is overwhelming. How about some are better than others? Chunk down. Notice I said, bring it down, chunk it down, write it down, get it out of your head, change it. Your home is already chunked down into different sections. When you take the overwhelm and you say, I need to start small, what's the first step I can do? Chunk down your home into a room. Pick a room. Pick a room. Start in that room. Chunk down your time. Set your timer for 20 minutes. Chunk down the category of clutter you're going to attack, right? You're going to start with. My categories of clutter, the layers are surface, stored, and sentimental. Start with your surface clutter. In one room for 20 minutes, you will make progress. And then you show up again and again and again and again. Then you go to stored clutter, then you go to sentimental clutter, right? Notice how my main goal here all the time is to get you from being in park to driving and getting movement, action, taking movement, not just sitting there saying it's all overwhelming, I can't even, right? And also what I like to call aligned action, because when you know what you're aiming for, it will help you get there because you're going to be pointing towards something. I want to go to Palm Springs, so I'm not about to start to drive south or north because I want to go west, right? That's how having a destination is kind of like a North Star, kind of like just having something to remind yourself, this is what I'm aiming for. This is what I'm aiming for. Do I see that thing being in that life or not? Is that part of who I want to be, or is that part of who I used to be? See, I love it, Irish Pink. We're moving at the end of the year and pitching things that don't match what I want to see there. Here's a really funny thing. I did the same thing, and I kind of had to honor this helpful, actually, unbidden thought, which was, that won't look good in our Palm Springs home. Will that look good in our Palm Springs home? Now, the funny thing is, I don't even want to move there. I don't. I love my home. I love my neighborhood. I love my town. Like, all the concentric circles about where I live work for me. However, what I realized is I wanted kind of that Palm Springs vibe in my house. So I said, okay, I don't want to move there, but what can I do to make myself feel like I'm a little bit more kind of mid-century and bright and cheery and white and all that? And so when I started redoing this room that I'm in right here, I was very intentional about what I brought into that room, So when you have that picture in your mind, you're saying, this is what I want my future to look like. And you can do little things there, even if you're never moving. Okay? All right. What else do we got here? All right. So let's see. What do we got here? Thank you for all the follows. As I said, if you want to get on my email page, you can do that. Destination.com, destinationdeclutter.com, whatever. Okay, sentimental objects. Jennifer Palmer mentioned it. It's hard for me to get rid of the small stuff. Don't bring it home. That's how I declutter. That's a great way to stay decluttered. Love it. Yeah, I've been helping a hoarder that's the sweetest person. It is so hard. Yes, got the constant fear of somebody coming in. Oh my God, so many people. This will help you so much. I will say this. I have many videos on my TikTok page. Please review them and like them. I recently, I think this morning, reposted one that I did a year ago that is still valid today. And it's crazy for me to believe that was only a year ago that I was helping this client declutter. And I love that you're trying to help, that you are helping somebody who is a hoarder. What I want to just let everybody know and remind people is that hoarding is an official diagnosis in the DSM-5. You can help people to a certain extent, but I would, with love and encouragement and support, encourage that person who is truly at being a hoarder to get mental health help for what's really going on kind of behind the scenes. Okay, as you said, it can be really tough because they have these really strong connections to stuff, because it gives them a sense of safety and control, right? So just know that. What else? Is it worth keeping items from childhood? You know what? Le Priestley, you tell me. Are the things from your childhood, I assume, worth you keeping? It's up to you. This is a wonderful thing. Your home, your life needs to look different than mine. It needs to reflect you and what is important to you. What's important to me is probably not important to you, and that's okay. I have some stuff from my childhood. I don't have a lot of it. I don't know. What do you want to keep? What is worth it to you? Why are you keeping it? And even more so, if you're saying, why are you keeping it? What comes up? What thought and feeling comes up when you say, I'm going to let it go? Get curious about what's going on in your head and your heart. And that's going to end up what happens with your hands. You have a thought about your childhood stuff that makes you feel a feeling that keeps you hanging on to it instead of releasing it. And that thought maybe is like, no, I do want to keep this. That's cool. Just examine it. Get curious about what's going on up here. And when you get more aware of what's going on up here, you can ask yourself, Is this getting me to the life I want or not? And here's the wonderful thing. This is never going to be perfect. Perfect is a wolf in sheep's clothing. But what it's going to be is better. Like we will never, I as a person who talks about, I am a person who talks about decluttering every single day. I coach people. I make videos about it. I study it. I read it. I learn it. I live it. Even I have a table in my basement with some stuff on it that I'm like, I'm not sure what to do with this. You know, I could do this. I could do that. What about those books? What about this? You know, it's never going to be perfect, but man, can it be so much better. It's never going to be, I figured it all out for every single thing. So if you struggle with some items, notice that and make them into the category of these are items I am currently struggling with and put them aside. I bet there are other easier items to decide upon. Sometimes when you struggle with something, when you put it down and then you look at other stuff, you're like, oh my God, this stuff is easy. I know exactly what I want to do with this. You know, here we go. The constant fear of anyone coming in. I love mid-age sage 52, that the fact that you introduced the word fear, because here's how I coach. I think of the thoughts in my head. Here's kind of the framework. Life is a road trip. You are the driver in your car. You are the one with your hands on the steering wheel, so you can steer in the direction of your dreams. You can, as I like to say, just drive your life. Just drive your life. Drive your life in the direction of your dreams, right? Or you can steer away from them. You can step on the gas and move forward towards your dreams. You can step on the gas and steer away from them. You can stay parked in your driveway, never even moving. You can do the same things and just stay stuck. You can pretend to be moving, but really what you're doing is spinning your wheels and exhausting yourself. And then at the end of the day, you haven't made any progress. It's so many of these driving metaphors apply. The reason I bring that up is because you are not alone in your car. You're the only one with your hands on the wheel, but you've got two places, two kind of, I like to call invisible passengers that either help you get to where you want to go to or keep you stuck. Those are your backseat driver thoughts that keep you stuck. Those are fears. And your helpful thoughts that get you going in the direction of the life that you would love to live, that is what I call your co-pilot thoughts. Now, I show up when I'm a coach in co-pilot energy. The energy of possibility. You can do this. It is not that hard. And it's going to be so fun when you get there. You know, I know you can do it because it's not that difficult. You have done so much more difficult things in your life than this. The only thing clutter-wise that's going between where your house looks now and the way you want it to look is a bunch of stuff that was made in a factory or handmade or whatever. It's a bunch of stuff strewn along the road that's in front of your car. When you finally go and examine it and say, do I want this or not? You either put it aside on the side of the road or you tuck it into the back of your car and then you move forward. And then when you get stuck again, you go out and say, oh, this thing is making me feel a certain way. And then you say, do I want it? No, I don't. I put it to the side of the road or I pop it in my car and you make progress. Okay. But notice the constant fear of anyone coming in is probably keeping you stuck. And so therefore, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Therefore, you don't invite anybody in. If you said, hey, you know what? I'm tired of being fearful of somebody coming in. I am going to change the way my home looks and feels because I want to invite people in. And I have love in my heart for my friends and myself that I don't want to live in a place that makes me fearful. So I want to do it. So fear is a backseat driver thought that keeps you stuck. Love is a co-pilot thought that gets you going in the direction of your dreams. Okay? What do you do with little items, hardware, and hoarding of small bits intended for art? Maybe Spectracolor. Maybe you make art with it. Make the art with it. There you go. Make the art with it. And if you're not making the art with it, get curious why you're not making the art. What's the thought that comes up? Do I not have enough time? Is it not going to be good enough? Whatever. I say this from personal experience because I'm a creative person like nobody's business. However, I realized I thought I was going to create art with a bunch of stuff that I saved, and I realized I was never doing it. It just wasn't happening. And I realized I didn't enjoy the creative process. I found it a little bit stressful, frankly, for me. When I realized that, I was able to release all these kind of ingredients for collages and, assemblages and things that I had said, oh, somebody could make something cool from this. And you know what I did? Is I gave them to somebody who could make something cool from them, and they did. And it's awesome. Okay, there we go. if you like to keep the small stuff and you do use it for your artwork, I don't know, put in little jars. I have like some, actually, so here we go. Here's something fun. Talk about repurposing. So like I have my, what are these, paper clips? They're in a little glass jar that Marshmallow Fluff from Lynn, Massachusetts came from. So, put them in cute little jars, and then you know exactly what they are. So when you go to use your, do your artwork, you know it's the stuff is there, right? See, here's the thing. Your house should look the way you want it to look, feel like the way you want it to feel, but also function the way you want it to function. How easily can you and quickly find the stuff you're looking for, and how easily and quickly can you put it away when you're done? That's the function of your home. Your home should make it easy to live in. There we go. Everyone around me is downsized and I get bogged down with the things they are getting rid of. Oh, Lulu. So curious. Yeah. Why are you allowing them to do their stuff? They don't want it. Why should you? Boundaries are good things. Your friends won't like you your friends will still like you even if you don't want their stuff. Standing up for yourself and what's important to you. I mean, trust me, I had a friend who was downsizing and she said, hey, do you want this table set? And I had loved that table set. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And now I use that table set, these cute little triangular mid-century modern side tables. Oh my God, I was so thrilled and delighted that she offered those to me. But other things that people have, hey, do you want this? No, that's okay. I'm good. All right, cool. Just want to let you know. Oh my gosh. Okay. What do we got? Okay, how can I help my mom with clutter? Oh my gosh, we daughters and our cluttered moms, we are a group, aren't we? Because my mom is cluttered. Now, here's how I help my mom. I waited for her to finally say, hey, yeah, I could use some help. The sad thing is that I will be honest with you. So she said she wanted help, and immediately I made that happen because I make things happen. I make good things happen. So I took a week out of my life for like a year. I drove up to Massachusetts. I flew up to Massachusetts. I did all the things. I went up and helped her, and we downsized. And this is important for everybody. We knocked down the backlog of clutter that had accumulated for sometimes decades, right? Her house is by no means empty, but it was so much better than it was. We were able to find important documents, and I created a safe place for those to be, family paperwork and all that kind of stuff, right? I helped her with that stuff, but you know what didn't work? Was she did not change her habits. She did not change her daily habits that caused her to be cluttered in the first place. And usually that's up here and then whatever. So I go back and visit her now and it's piling up again. I'm cool with that though, because I know that it's important to change your habits if you want to. She doesn't want to, and that's okay. You know what I just realized is, okay, her house is going to look like this until she's dead. And when she's dead, I'll deal with it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean in a loving way, because I don't want my mother always feeling like failure to keep a clean home. She's got we all have a finite amount of years in our lives, right? I want her to spend her life doing the things that bring her joy. And I hope you want that for your mom too. Boop. Opening a drawer and being able to close it easily. That's an awesome thing. All right. Our house is too small for our family. What can I do? You know what? We can't reduce the amount. Here's the funny thing. You can't expand the amount of space you have in your home. Like you can't expand out the walls and things. But what you can do is the stuff between you and the walls. You can reduce the amount of items in your home, not the people. Like it's a math problem. Reduce the amount of items in the home and we'll create more space. You know what I mean? Yep. See, Jennifer Palmer's got a hoarder and gets angry if anyone tries to help. No one's allowed to touch her stuff. Jen, I say this with love and compassion. Your mom probably needs some psychological help. And I because hoarding is a mental disorder. It is. The hoarding is caused by something up here that is causing her to feel this way and then to cling on to the stuff and get don't touch. Just know that and have compassion for her, Interesting. I'm afraid I'll get overeager and make bad decisions. Oh my God, that's such a good one. That hasn't come up before, but I want to offer to you is being eager to get there. Just mind your body energy and saying, am I making a good, trust your core, trust your gut, trust your heart, trust your soul. Say, I'm not making a good decision, or I'm being hasty because I want to get there so quickly. It's like speeding to get to someplace and making bad decisions that might cause you to crash or to, get pulled over and get a ticket. Make decisions in a energy and a time frame and a headspace that feels good, so that you can say, I made a good decision about this. If you feel like you're speeding and getting over eager, take some deep breaths. You guys, I'm telling you, taking deep breaths, your body will help you calm down your brain, even just by taking a few deep breaths. So notice when you feel like you're getting over eager, and maybe slow your roll and say, all right, I feel like I'm getting a little Speedy Gonzalez here, right? So slow it down, slow it down. Oh my God, is that from like Rocky Horror or something like that? Sorry, I am Gen X, and I'm telling you, my brain is like half English, half pop culture references. It's my second language, okay? Oh my gosh, baskets are my friends, my best friends, SUSB. When I helped my mother declutter her home, oh my God, she might have like invested in money in a basket factory. I call baskets enablers. I think they allow you the feeling of doing something with your stuff when you really have just tidied up a pile of, unorganized stuff. So I took her stuff and I dumped it out of baskets and sorted it, and then put the empty basket way down in the basement in an inconvenient spot for her to get it, so she would be less likely to use them. There we go. MMS says, I toss things away or donate. Husband saves everything. Here's an offer. Here's the thing I want to suggest. Just realize this. Each one of us has a certain thought about our stuff in our home that makes us feel a certain way. And when we feel a certain way, we do a certain thing. That's how I am. That's how I roll. Head, heart, hands. I like to make the alliterations. It keeps it wicked easy. You have that about your stuff. Your husband has that about his stuff. It's just a slightly different perspective than yours. My husband has a different perspective on stuff, right? We all do. Get curious about it and maybe ask him why he's saving everything. Get into a conversation. Curiosity, it's so funny. I'm going to do a TikTok about this, like a video, but like curiosity is such a good space to be in because it keeps you open to learning something. I saw a Ted Lasso video about that when he's doing the darts, and he says that there's like a Walt Whitman quote about curiosity versus judgment. Everybody, let's just be more curious and less judgy. I mean, I'm judgy in my own self because I'm a flawed human being. But when I am in curious energy, when I'm like, hey, I wonder why that's happening. I wonder why I am doing that. I wonder why they're doing that. That leaves me open to hearing like the solution to that, All right, what else do we got here? Okay, I'm on here, just so you know, for the next barely 20 minutes, and then I hop off because I have consultations and coaching and a fun day, and I hope you do too. Quick thing, just really PSA, quarter of the hour. I am Beth, Destination Decluttered. If you like what you're hearing, I do show up multiple times during the weeks. During doing TikTok lives. The best way to know when I'm going live is two things. One is like my page or follow it or whatever, thumbs uppy. I don't even know what you do here. So that you're notified when I go live. Also, I will do a video that I always pin to the top of my TikTok page. That will be a schedule for the upcoming week is when I go live. Okay. The other thing too is I have an email mailing list. Now I do not spam you. I don't. But what I do is I send you some really good stuff, and I give you opportunities to get kind of that flavor of what coaching is like. So when you sign up for the Destination Decluttered email mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com/join, there's also like a link tree type thing on my TikTok page that you can go to all these links. You get a habit tracker that's attached to your welcome email. You also get an invitation to a monthly Zoom call, a group Zoom call just for people on the mailing list, where we all get together and ask questions and help each other and just, realize that you're not alone and kind of help you stay accountable. I have a number of one-on-one clients that I work one-on-one with people. I do one-on-one coaching via Zoom with people all over the country, and I work in 10-week programs. I do a 10-week section, and almost like little dominoes or box cars, like you can do a 10-week, then a 10-week, then a 10-week. However long you want me in your life, I'm there when you sign up. But I have clients who have gotten miraculous, wonderful, amazing results in 10 weeks, and then they still show up for the monthly Zooms because it helps them stay accountable and reminds them to keep, their good habits up, All right, Savvy Girl, you're welcome for what I do. I love what I do. I really feel like, and maybe this is just because I'm, of an age, but I feel like what I'm doing right now in my life is like the culmination of so many things that I have done in my illustrious and very Gen X career of, anything from being an art history major to managing a Pier 1 imports and being a visual merchandiser to being a process engineer to selling antiques to being a thrifter to creating websites to writing books to going on road trips. All of these things have allowed me to pull all the good stuff out of that stuff, transform my life like nobody's business into one that I am giddy practically, not every day, but most days I am giddy waking up going, oh my gosh, what awesome things, what an awesome life I have. I want that for other people. It's silly for me to be the only person who loves my life. And if your clutter is in your way of you loving your life, I can help you with that. And the great thing is the way I coach about it, I feel it's kind of fun. I make it easy. It's enjoyable. So you're more likely to do it. The program works if you work it. Yeah, anything works if you work it. There we go. Yeah, see, Christina, I am glad you found me, and I'm glad I am your co-pilot. And I love the fact that so when I show up as like your co-pilot, I hop into the passenger seat and I'm like, all right, where are we going? Where do you want to go? You're the driver. I can't drive your car, but you tell me where you want to go. And I'm like, cool, I can help you get there. I can't do the driving, but I can inspire you. I have a roadmap. I can give you tips and tricks and strategies to build your toolkit so you stay motivated and you show up and you show up and you show up and you work towards this goal that you want for yourself. I high five you when you do good stuff. And when you inevitably are going to hit a pothole or a roadblock or whatever, and you get stuck or you're slow in your roll, I say, okay, let's talk about that. Let's pull that apart and find out why you're stuck so you can get back going. There we go. My house is old and the basement is a dungeon. Ooh, that collects all the clutter. A clutter dungeon. Oh my God, Jay. Isn't that interesting? The words we use in our heads make us feel a certain way and make us do a certain thing. If I thought my basement was a dungeon, I probably wouldn't go down there anyway. I think it's a dungeon, I feel scared, and then I don't go down there, right? What if you say, I'm going in there and it's going to be like a treasure hunt? I could find something really cool down there, Yeah. Do I coach other declutterers? I don't know. I could. I don't know. I haven't, but I certainly, I coach anybody who wants coaching. Anybody who, here's the thing, I literally have this written down and I will share it. I only work with people who are eager and ready to work with me to transform their lives. And that's in the clutter space. I am not a relationship coach. There are many coachings I don't do. The neat thing is about the way I frame my coaching for decluttering is you can totally cut and paste it into other areas of your life. But I work from the clutter space in the head, the heart, and the hands. And we work on clutter. And then you can use that same process and apply it to other areas of your life. How do I deal with my mom's worn out, turn of the last century, 1900s antiques from the 1800s? I don't know. Do you want them in your life? If not, get them out of your life. I bet there could be somebody out there who wants them. Yeah, there could be. Here's the thing. So I just literally reposted a video that I did last year about that may be worth something someday. Melinda, Tim, you just said you say it might be worth money. Find out today if it's worth money. Go onto the internet, do a Google search, go to eBay, go to Etsy, don't go to First Dibs. First Dibs, I think, is it First Dibs? There's a few of those sites that will give you an unrealistic expectation as to what things are worth. So I often go to say, what are people spending? Are people spending money on the things that I think are worth something? Sadly, sometimes the answer could be yes, but more often than not, the answer is no. I found that out the hard way. Stuff that I saved for a long time because I thought it was going to be big money ended up being little money or no money at all. So, and I will say this, there you go. See, Sandfox says, I'm so ready. I'm tired of living like this. Yeah, you can change. You can do this. Okay. I will say, and I'm just not in a fear-based type thing, but in a fact-based type thing. I deal in facts, not fear. Is if you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me and you want to start soon, literally, I just looked at my calendar. I have one consultation slot left for this upcoming week. And so if you're interested, it is on, I'll tell you right now, and you'll just go to destinationdecluttered.com, like work with me, work with me. Tuesday, June 27th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're available then and you're ready to take that next step and you want to do a consultation about one-on-one coaching, grab that spot, because when that's gone, I won't be doing consultations for a little bit because my calendar gets busy, and also I do some traveling, so I go off the grid. All right. Don't fill the landfills, donate, sell, tag sales. Some will appreciate the items. Pauline, hells to the yeah. That's what I'm all about. There we go. See, it's interesting. It's all worth something. I'm spending $500 on storage. It's not worth that much. Yeah, it's crazy to me. So the amount of money that previous and current clients have been spending on storage units, and that's just money that you're just spending every month. $500 a month is $6,000 a year. My coaching is a pittance compared to that. You do pay for it, but the crazy thing is that it's like, you're paying that all, that accumulates, Think of what you would rather do with that money, right? And the neat thing is about my coaching, I love, is the fact that it isn't just like it's only worth the money while you're doing it. Many people will be like, well, that's this many sessions and this is how much it costs. So this is, I'm going to divide it and blah, blah, blah. I don't look at it that way, because the way I coach about clutter and everything is teaching you to think differently, so you feel differently, so you do differently. That skill is something that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. So if you try to divide up the skills that you learn in that short 10 weeks session, the amount of money it costs, and then you kind of have to divide it up by how many days left you're on the planet, it's like hay pennies, my friend. There we go. Oh, there you go. I have storage facilities. Something is very wrong with my thinking. Sandfox, that's always good to know so that you can change your thinking. And here's how you change your thinking, people. You have to figure out, you have to listen to what you're thinking first. You get it down. Overwhelm, down. Write it down. What is going on? What do you think? What are the thoughts you have in your life about your storage and why you're saving it, and say, why am I doing this? And then listen for the answer. Don't run away from it. Knowledge is power, as they said in Schoolhouse Rock, okay? So do it, There we go. Yeah, even user Patty Pumpkin says, I managed self-storage for 17 years. Anything over 2 months and you're losing your money. There you go. Yeah, okay. Mama Nation, I get it, that it's if your mom's stuff and in memory care, but it's still her stuff. I get that. You know what? How about this? Then reframing the fact that saying, I am honoring my mom by keeping her stuff alive while she's alive, but as soon as she's done, I'm going to get rid of it. You can tell yourself, you can create a better thought that makes you feel better about your decision. There we go. What else do we have here? So I'm here for literally like another 5 or so minutes. I will be showing up more on TikTok Live this week, but I haven't figured out when. Here's the thing. I haven't figured out when, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to show up, but I also am factoring it around the things that are already existing in my schedule. This is a skill I want you to get better at, because when you say you don't have time to do the things you have to do and the things you want to do, I would love for you to take a look at what your calendar actually looks like. Like I'm looking at mine, and I use this process that I made up called breeze blocking. It's like my riff on time blocking. And I had to do this because I don't have enough time to do that, whatever. And I did have the time. My brain was telling me I didn't, because I was scared to show up for certain things. Now I daily and weekly have to go through and write down what I have so that I can see. Like, this is just an example of a page of things that I have going on, right? Like this is me, and I've got consultations, and I've got coaching, and I've got fun stuff, and then I've got a big old X from when I go away for a day. You do have the time. You do have the time, even if it's a minute. Earlier today when I was doing this TikTok Live, we spent 1 whopping minute sitting there quietly saying, how do you want your life to look and feel? Here's what I would love for you to do is when I sign off in about 4 minutes or so, Spence, you shut off your phone too and just sit there and say, how do I want my life to look and feel? Where is it working out for me? Rock on, keep on doing those things. But when it's not, let's figure out a way to get you to change that. Write it down. Writing it down gets it out of your head and onto paper so you can literally see. You cannot problem solve everything up here without, it helps to get it out of your head onto someplace that doesn't change where you can look at it. I have a video pinned to the top of my TikTok page. If you haven't liked my TikTok page, if you could like my TikTok page, there's that thing. But it's about your thoughts being a boiling pot of spaghetti at all times. Thoughts, spaghetti strands. Each strand is a thought, right? Up here, you cannot do anything with this. There's a lot of good stuff that happens up here, but the only way it happens is when you dump out that spaghetti and when you sort it out and you say, what's back here? What's up with this? And you say, oh, that's a good thought. I'm going to keep that one. Like, hey, I'm doing a good thing. I'm going to show up on TikTok live, even though, I got no makeup on or whatever. Oh man, that's a very unhelpful thought. When I think that thought, I feel crappy. And when I feel crappy, I do crappy. So yes, here's the funny thing, Knickknack82, I will post this one on YouTube as well. I am a little bit behind because it takes a wicked long time for, YouTube to upload things. But often what I'm going to do is I put these TikTok lives, I post the recordings on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel so they can be motivating to you when you put them on. Don't look at the screen. The screen is just me. It's just all I do is point to like where you are and where you want to be. Use it like a podcast when you are decluttering, and that will help you. Okay, there we go. Okay, Susan, I am so glad you found me as well. If you've been overwhelmed for such a long time, everybody, we can all benefit from overwhelm. It's just a thought and a feeling that causes a feeling. Say, I have control over my overwhelm. You take that overwhelm, you move it down, you chunk it down, you write it down. You get it in front of you where you can see it, not staying up here where you can't do anything about it. And the chunking it down and the writing it down will revolutionize your life, okay? Because then you can say, I can take action no matter how small. There we go. Organizers have been more helpful than doctors. I love that. All right. So you know what? I'm going to sign off now because I actually have a client consultation in a moment, and I want to be honoring that by showing up on time for that and kind of shifting my energy just a smidge to get into that. But I will promise you by the end of the day, oh, somebody just sent me a palm tree. I kind of like that because I got palm trees in my future. Quickly, I will later today, I promise, to be doing a video. It will be pinned to the top of my TikTok page about when I'm going to be live this week. Feel free to show up, get on my mailing list. If you want one-on-one coaching, as I said, there's only one slot available on my calendar for this week. Next week might be a different story. I can't even, the week after this is 4th of July weekend, so I'm going to be taking a bunch of days off because, life. But in the meantime, you got this. You know things you can do today and tomorrow and the next day that are going to get you closer to that life you want. And if you don't know what you want your life to look and feel like, shut off your phone, get quiet, grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper and start writing that stuff down. Okay? There we go. You deserve to live a life you love. All right? And that seems like a mic drop kind of moment. So I'm going to drop the mic and I'll see you later. All right? Bye. Bye.